What he had was a bulldog-like, fully understood sense of the law, and the law in its most arcane principles. Arcane principles that lead to the great judgment between lawfulness and lawlessness. And that is something that I get, and that's the thing that you end up like focusing in. I read much of his book about this very case. A huge amount of it was about the case with Mark Rylance's character. That was most of the book, because this case consumed him. It took him all the way to the Supreme Court. It devoured his years. What he developed with Rudolf Abel was a very completely professional relationship as an advocate. He even says, "I am your advocate. My job is to represent you and bring you the best version of American justice that I can surmise, and here's what I think that justice needs to be." And he was dogged in his pursuit of that. He also developed a great personal relationship with Abel, because Abel was a good guy, and he enjoys, he felt as though he was fighting for a good guy, not a bad guy. I mean, he was also a good guy personally, but he was a good guy for what he stood for, even though he was a courier and a spy, what have you. So my job as an actor then is to embody the almost the philosophical bent that Donovan had about this entire chapter in his life. That on one hand took up years and years of his defense of Abel, and on another hand took up about, 6 days of his going to Berlin and making the exchange. Mark is from the stage, and not just from the stage, he is as accomplished an actor on stage as anybody on the planet Earth. And it's a different beast performing in films, where it happens in the moment. What Mark brings to it is a completely realized self-assuredness, that the difference is, Mark will not take a moment and throw it completely out and come in and completely redo it. What Mark will do instead is he will construct the character in the scene, that slow little motions of feint either one way or the next will bring a new jolt of energy to it that still completely remains the character that he has built, in the same way that he's built characters on the stage.
I think the psychology of James Donovan's actions is the heart of it, and so you've got exactly the right person in Tom Hanks to do that. And Amy, his wife, is a wonderful character, and the effect on an American family who really not been in this world before. So that as he gets drawn more into the powerful corridors of the CIA and the FBI, that's very interesting too, seeing this kind of honest working lawyer get drawn into the subtleties of international relations between America and the Soviet Union at that time. It's that's a nice aspect of the film. I think that's a kind of psychological interest of it, and the friendship between Donovan and Abel that develops is something we've been enjoying playing. Yeah, he's very removed from concern about it, seemingly, Abel. Nice and interesting character that way. He's very sat back in it. But I suppose that's the kind of necessary thing you'd need to be a spy, because you're going to live always keeping some part of you secret, consciously keeping some part of yourself secret. So you're only really pretending to be part of the society you're in. It's it could be a very lonely life, couldn't it? So you have to be someone who likes that kind of solitude and that kind of non-involvement in what's going on around you. So he is very relaxed about the outcome, realistic too. Yeah, no, I like that. That's an enjoyable thing to play. I think people on set have imagined that I'm that kind of person, which unfortunately I'm not. A part of the story is the discovery of each other. I certainly, from Abel's point of view, I think I would first of all naturally assume that this is some stooge of the CIA that they put in there to try and get try and get me to confess to something or reveal something. So I start suspicious of Donovan, and gradually realize no, he's not. He's actually cares. So for someone who doesn't, I don't think, who feels very removed from attaching himself to anything, he becomes a curiosity to Abel, this Donovan man. Why would he do this? Why would he take it so seriously? Why would he want to put himself at risk to defend me? So the friendship is one of discovering each other, who the other person is, rather than what you assume they are.